Hello students, welcome to Power Tutorials. So today we are going to start our live session on MCQ questions posted in community. So these are the questions which are posted in community, that is from we have around from 0 currently it is still 209 questions have been posted in community, and I have mentioned the questions or solutions till 182 questions. So today I will provide a live session having MCQ questions of other one, that is starting from 183 to 209 all the questions. Okay. So let's start those videos. Let's see the first question, which is 183rd question. Just a minute. Okay. So 183rd question. Which of the below are coprimes? They are asking. The question is, which of the below are coprimes? So for this we have to see the options. First of all, what are coprimes? So coprimes, if I ask what is coprimes, you have to say that coprimes are the numbers which doesn't have any common factor. Any common factor means 1 is a common factor for everyone. So except 1, they should not have any common factor. Okay. So for them, let's see the options. The first option is what is the option they have mentioned in this question? 3, 6, 4, 7. So 3, 6 if you take. So what are the factors of 3 and 6? It is the 3 factors are 1, 3, whereas 6 factors are 1, 2, 3 and 6. So here we have a common factor which is 3. So 1 cannot be the answer. Second option, 4, 7. 7 is a prime number, it doesn't have any factor, only one itself, whereas 4 has a factor which is 1, 2 and 4. So this is the right answer. Let's check for other options. 2, 4. For 2, 4, if I can write the factors as 1, 2. For 4, I can write 1, 2, 4. So here I also have a common factor which is 2. So 3 cannot be the answer. Let's see the fourth option, 8, 24. So here also if I write the factors of 8, I can say 1, 2, 4, 8. Whereas for 24, it will be 1, 2, 3, 8 and 24. So here we have two common factors, 2 and 4. Okay, here 4 is missed, so 4 is also a factor. So this also cannot be a cofactor. So what are the coprimes? I just mentioned that coprimes are the numbers which does not have any common factor in between them. Here 4 and 7 does not have any common factor. So in the below options, only 4, 7 is the coprimes. Okay, let's see the next question. 184th question posted in community. So what is 184th question? So just browsing in my app phone, just a minute. So the 184th question is, zeros of a polynomial can be found using graphical method as the number of times it is touching x-axis. So I'll just write the question again. Zeros of a polynomial can be found using graphical method as number of times touching or intersecting which axis, that is x or y. The answer is x-axis. For example, if I say this is a graph of polynomial, so how many times it is touching x-axis? Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So the answer is 6. So 6 zeros are present for this polynomial. Same way if I have say another graph, suppose like this. So how many zeros are present for this polynomial? The answer is only 1 because it is only touching x-axis as 1 point. Okay, let's see next question. 185. What is the sum of roots of equation which is 3x square minus 4x plus 8? So this is a quadratic equation. For quadratic equation, okay, let's write the options also. Options I have provided in the community are 4 by 3, 3 by 4, minus 4 by 3 and minus 3 by 4. So the sum of roots from the quadratic equation is minus b by a. So you have to compare this with the standard quadratic equation which is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So from here if I compare, I will get a value as 3, b value as minus 4 and c value as 8. So minus b by a becomes minus of minus 4 by 3 which is 4 by 3. So first option is the answer. Okay, so let's go to the next question, 186th. So just a minute, let me just cross check everything is fine or not, and I'll just see if any comments have been posted. Just a minute, guys. Okay, I'm ready with the live chat. So if anyone have any questions with respect to the explanation which I have provided, kindly mention here. Okay, just mention hello everyone. If anyone have any doubts, do mention in the chat section. Thank you. Okay, so hope everyone can see my message which I just pasted. So let's continue with the questions. 186th question. Just covered 3 questions, 183, 184 and 185. So let's go to the next one. we'll go little faster. Okay, 186th question. The product of two irrational numbers is always irrational. It is true or false? Question is, the product of two irrational numbers is always irrational. So this is a yes or no question, because if you follow my community, you might have understood that not always I will keep 4 options questions, sometimes 2 and sometimes even true or false type of questions, so that everyone can understand the concept. So this question is, the product of two irrational numbers is always irrational. The answer should be yes or no. It should be no, that is false. So why? Because there can be exceptions. For example, if I take root 2 into root 8, so this is irrational. Root 8 is also irrational, because root 8 I can write it as 4 into 2, which is 2 root 2, because root 4 value is 2. Okay, so this is irrational, root 2 is irrational, and root 8 is also irrational. But if you multiply these two, what will happen? If you multiply these two, it becomes root 16. Because root of a into root of b will become root of a into b, which is root of 16. Root of 16 is not irrational, because the root of 16 have a value of 4. So product of two irrational numbers is always irrational. Always irrational is false, because there can be cases where it is rational also, like this. Okay, so you can conclude product of two rationals is not always rational. It can be rational if it is like this. If a product of two prime roots is always irrational, like if I said root 2 and root 5, these two are irrational, so the product of 2 will also be rational. But product of two non-prime numbers or composite numbers definitely will not be rational. Okay, let's see the next one, 187th question. So what is 187th question community? That is LCM of 6, 30. So this is an LCM question. What is the LCM of 6, 30? So let's do using factorization method. 6 I can write it as 2 into 3, whereas 30 I can write it as 2 into 2 is a 4. Okay, let's write it here. If I write 30, 2 15s are 30, 3 5s are 15. So it is 2 into 3 into 5. So what is LCM concept using prime factorization method? I have to write all the prime numbers first. So what are the prime numbers? 2, 3 and 5 are the prime numbers. I'll just write it. So whichever is the highest power, I have to write it. Here the highest power is only 1, so simply 1 will be the highest power. So 2 into 3 is 6, 6 5 is 30. So 30 is the answer. So in the options I have mentioned 6, 30, 18 and 20. So 30 is the answer. Okay, let's go to the next question, 188. What is the HCF of two prime numbers? What is the HCF of two prime numbers? So what is HCF? HCF is the multiply of common factors, or simply I can say that whichever is a common factor multiple. Okay, let's write it with help of example, then it will be clear. So if I say what is the HCF of, let's take two prime numbers. Let's suppose 3 and 5 are the prime numbers. So if I use factorization method, what are the factors? I can write it as just 1 into 3, so I'll just write it as 3. Whereas for 5, if I write it in prime factors, it is only 5. So whichever is common in between them, nothing, because these two prime numbers, they will not have any factors. First of all, it will only 1 into 3 or 1 into 5. Same way, if I ask for any common factor in between them, it will only nothing. So simply I can say HCF is 1. Okay, let's take for two composite. For example, if I say for 4 comma, the previous example what I had done, 6 30. Okay, let's solve for this 6 30. So I can say 6, I can write it as 2 into 3, whereas 30 I can write it as 2 into 3 into 5. So if I see what is common in between these two, it is 2 as well as 3. So the HCF here will be 2 into 3. So which is 6. But here if we say there is no common itself, for any two prime numbers will not have any common factor, because the prime number itself is a number which is having only 1 and itself as a factors. So definitely there cannot be any common for between these two. So HCF of any two prime numbers is always 1. So always remember, HCF of any two prime numbers is always 1, and also HCF of any two co-prime numbers is also 1. Why? Because co-prime numbers are the numbers which doesn't have any common factor. Okay, so for this option I have mentioned the options as 0, 1, 3 and 5. So the answer here is 1. Let's go to the next one, 189th question. What is the midpoint of 2 points? Okay, here what is the midpoint of 3, 4 and 7, 8? I'll write the options also. 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 5 and 6, 6. So I will give around 10 seconds of your time, and then I will start the solutions. So whoever is solving these questions right now and they haven't solved in the community section can try and just check if you're able to solve this question. Okay, so let's solve it. So midpoint of any 2 points, the formula is x1 plus x2 by 2 comma y1 plus y2 by 2. Okay, so what is these are x1, x2, x1, y1, x2, y2. So x1 plus x2, that is 3 plus 7 by 2 comma 4 plus 8 by 2. So what is 3 plus 7? 10. 10 by 2 is 5. 4 plus 8 is 12. 12 by 2 is 6. So the answer is 5, 6. Let's go to the next one, 190 question. What is the product of roots of a quadratic equation I have mentioned? So let's write it. What is the product of roots of quadratic equation? So here the quadratic equation is 2x square minus 5x plus 8 is equal to 0. So I'll write the options. It is 4, 5 by 2, minus 4 and minus 5 by 2. Okay, so product of roots formula, again I have to say that it has to be compared with the standard quadratic equation, which is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So if I can write the a value as 2, b value will be minus 5 and c value will be 8. So product of roots formula is c by a for quadratic equation. So product of roots of quadratic means which is having only highest power as 2 for quadratic equation is c by a. See here the c value is 8, a value is 2, so c by a becomes 8 by 2, which is 4. Okay, let's go to the next one, 191. Okay, so this is a bit interesting because of real numbers chapter. The first question is, if the LCM of two numbers is 20, we don't know the numbers. HCF also they have provided, HCF is 4. what is the product of two numbers? What is the product of two numbers? So always remember, this is very important question because this question is repeated for every board exam. Okay, so the concept is LCM into HCF of two numbers is equal to product of them. Okay, so here they have mentioned, okay, let's write the options also. 24, 80 and 20. So what is the LCM? They have provided LCM is 20. So 20 is into HCF is 4 is equal to product. So the product I can say it as 20 into 4, which is 80. So C is the answer. Always remember, LCM into HCF of two numbers is always equal to the product of those two numbers. Okay, let's go to the next one. 192nd question. What are the roots of a quadratic equation they have mentioned? What are the roots of the equation is x square minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation, and the roots they have mentioned, the options are 3, 3, minus 3, minus 3, 3, minus 3, minus 3, 3. Okay. So this can be solved using two methods, either to using like separating the mid value and using the factors of a into c, and then you can solve it, or using factorization method, that is using the form of quadratic equation also you can find it. So I'll use the mid method, that is separating the middle term into factors of a into c, and then you can solve it. So here the a value is 1, c value is 9, so a into c becomes 1 into 9, which is 9. So for this, the trick is you have to write in terms of factors. What are the factors of 9? It is 1 into 9 and 3 into 3. Again you can repeat, so I'll just write into 1, but we want here it as minus 6. So using which combination we can get minus 6, we have to check. So minus 6 means I can write it as minus 3, I'll get it as minus 6. Okay, so just to use this, x square minus 3x plus 9 is equal to 0. X into x minus 3, again minus 3 into x minus 3. So I can write this as x minus 3 into x minus 3 is equal to 0, which are same, which is x is equal to 3, 3. Because x minus 3 is equal to 0, then x will become 3. Okay, let's go to the next one, 193rd. So the question is, does 12 power 6 ends with 0? Options anyway, it is true or false question, they are just asking yes or no. So here it is also important, one more point. If a power n ends with 0, then a should have 2 and 5 as factors. Okay, so if any number power any number, doesn't matter, but a if it is having a prime factors of 2 and 5, then definitely a power n ends with 0. So let's find the factors for 12. So what are the factors of 12? The factors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. So these are the factors. So here we have 2, but we doesn't have 5 here. Hence 12 power 6 will not end with 0. Okay, so to any number power anything, if we want to end with 0, definitely the number should have 2 factors, which are 2 and 5. Okay, let's go to the next one, 194th question. Okay, this is a bit lengthy but still fine. If the angle of elevation from an object to building is 45, if angle of elevation from an object to building is 45 degrees, the distance between the object and building is 100, the distance between them is 100 meters. What is the height of building? What is the height of building? Okay, so this question belongs to heights and distance. Some applications of trigonometry chapter, that is chapter 9. So whoever wants the entire all the questions, examples, everything I have solved in my videos, so you can check that playlist, and you can also mention if any doubts you have with respect to any question. Okay, so let's solve this question first. So if the angle of elevation of object to building, so suppose this is object and here this is a building here. So angle of elevation is nothing but the angle from bottom to the top. So here the angle is 45 degrees. The distance I have mentioned as 100. They are asking to find the height. So let's suppose this as h. So you have to use trigonometric concept here, which is tan 45. Why? Because it is opposite by adjacent side. So tan 45. What is tan 45? Tan 45 is 1. Tan 45 is equal to opposite by adjacent is 100. So h is equal to tan 45 is 1. So 1 into 100. So this is also same, which is 100 meters. Okay. Next, go to the next one. The angle created from a point B on the ground to top of building. So just a theory question. So which I just mentioned, which is nothing but the angle of elevation. So I'll write the question also. The angle created from point, suppose B, on ground to the top of building. So in this chapter we have two types of angles, angle of elevation and angle of depression. So those details I have already mentioned in the introduction part of that is part 1 of this chapter. You can check those details. So here it is just a point here, and suppose this is a building and they want to see the top of the building. Then they say that we have extending an angle to it. So this angle is nothing but angle of elevation. So the question is, they mentioned somewhere the angle of elevation, then it's the angle from bottom to top. Okay, let's go to the next one, 196th question. The formula of adjacent to opposite is equal to which trigonometric ratio? The formula of adjacent to opposite is equal to which trigonometry ratio? Suppose this is a triangle and this is theta. They are asking adjacent to opposite. So this value by this value they are asking. So it should be opposite of tan, because tan is opposite by adjacent side. This should be cos theta. Cot theta. Because cot angle is adjacent by opposite. Whereas we just saw in the previous question, tan theta is opposite by adjacent side. To the next one, 197th question. Okay, again this is again same type of question where they are asking which trigonometric ratio is equal to opposite by hypotenuse? Ratio is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Option sine, cos, tan and cot. Suppose this is triangle and this is theta. So here they are asking opposite by hypotenuse. So this by this. So opposite by hypotenuse, answer is sine theta. Okay. Sine is opposite by hypotenuse. Cos is adjacent by hypotenuse, whereas tan is opposite by adjacent. Cot is adjacent by opposite. Same way for cosecant and secant. Okay. Let's go to the next one. 198th question. What is adjacent by hypotenuse? It is just again same question. What is adjacent by hypotenuse? The answer should be cos theta. Same concept. If this is a triangle, this is theta, then the x by y will become cos theta. It is adjacent by hypotenuse. Let's go to the next one. If a boy found it is taking 30 degrees to see the top of building, if a boy found it is taking 30 degrees to see top of building. So he is simply saying that we have a boy who is on the ground and he wants to see the top of a building, and he found that the angle he want to see is saying 30 degrees. So just simply in this question, what is the angle called, they are asking. What is the angle named? Because we have two types of angles, which is angle of elevation or angle of depression. So as they are seeing from bottom to top, we call it as angle of elevation. The same question, if they say that the person from the top is want to see the bottom, then it will be angle of depression. Okay, so bottom to top is angle of elevation, top to bottom is angle of depression. Let's see the next one, 200th question. Sum of angles of a quadrilateral. So this is easy question. Sum of angles of a quadrilateral is sum of angles of any quadrilateral is always 360 degrees. So if anyone know what is the sum of angles of a triangle, you can mention in the comment section if you know what is the sum of angles of a triangle. So quadrilateral examples are square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram. So all these four quadrilaterals, if I ask what is the sum of these four angles of the four sides, the answer is 360 degrees. Okay, as I mentioned, whoever know what is the sum of angles of a triangle can mention in comment section. I'll definitely give a heart symbol to that comment. Okay, so let's go to the next one. 201st question. If the height of the building, okay, again heights and distance questions. So if the height, I'll just write h of building is 10, from a point x away from it, point x meters away from it. So the distance they have provided, distance from point x meters. if angle of elevation to the top of building is 45, so here they mentioned angle of elevation is 45. So simply they're saying that from bottom to top the angle of elevation is 45 degrees. What is x value? So let's solve this. First draw a triangle. Point here we have a building and the angle is 45 because angle of elevation it is, and the height of building they have mentioned it as 10. They are asking to find the x value. So simple, it is again opposite by adjacent side. I can use tan 45. Tan 45 is equal opposite, I have mentioned 10 by x. So x becomes, it is already 1, tan 45 is 1. So simply x is also 10 meters. Okay, so the distance between the point and the building is 10 meters. Let's go to the next one. (202). If two angles of isosceles triangle are 90 and 45, what is third angle? If two angles of an isosceles triangle are 90 and 45, what is third angle? So what is the sum of all angles of any triangle? It is 180 degrees. So 90 plus 45 plus x is equal to 180. 90 plus 45 is 135. So 135 plus x is equal to 180. 180 minus 35 will get as 45 degrees. So why it is isosceles? Because we had two angles as equal, 45 and 45. So if you want to name it, is also name it as isosceles right angled triangle. Okay, because one angle is also 90 and other two angles are same. Let's go to the next one. 203 question. What is the perimeter of circle having 2 centimeters as radius? So for circle we had two types, which is perimeter, that is circumference, and the other one is area. So perimeter formula is, that is circumference, because we call it is as it is circle, we call it as also circumference. So perimeter circumference of a circle is 2 into pi into r, whereas the area formula is pi r square. So you have to remember these two formulas with respect to circles. So let's read the options also. It is 4 pi, 6 pi, 4 pi, 6 pi, 2 pi, 10 pi. So if you are watching this video later, I suggest you to just pause this video here, try the answer, and then go for the solution. Okay. So let's see the answer for here. It is asking perimeter. So perimeter is 2 into pi into r. So r is here 2. So it is 2 into pi into 2, which is 4 pi. Let's see the next one. 204th question. If for a right angled triangle, opposite side is 5, hypotenuse is 10, what is sin x? Okay. If for right angled triangle, so we have a right angle in this triangle. Opposite side is 5. Hypotenuse is 10. Find sin x. So here we have to keep the x to the opposite side as 5. It is something like this. So if I say this is theta, then the opposite here is 5 and the hypotenuse is 10. This we don't know. Okay, let's leave it. Let's write it as ABC. They're asking sin x. So what is sin x formula? Sin x is simple. It is opposite by hypotenuse. So they provided those two values also. You can directly use them. Opposite is 5, hypotenuse 10. So sin x is equal to 5 by 10, which is 1 by 2. So the angle is should be 30 degrees because sin 30 is equal to 1 by 2. Whereas sin 0 is 0, sin 30 1 by 2, sin 45 1 by root 2, sin 60 root 3 by 2, sin 90 is 1. So among these values which is matching 1 by 2, which is 30 degrees. Okay, let's go to the next one. 205 question. A ladder of length 10 root 3 ladder of length 10 root 3 meters is kept at an angle of of 30 degrees to against wall. What is the distance from wall to ground? Simply asking what is the distance between them. So let's write the options. 15, 10, 15, 20, 25. So it's something like this. We have a ladder, we have a wall, and the angle between them is 30. Okay, the ladder length they have provided, which is 10 root 3. Wall length we don't know. We have to find the distance also. Let's write this as x and this as y. They're asking to find the distance, so we can simply use adjacent side and hypotenuse. So we have to use cos theta here. Cos 30 is adjacent by hypotenuse. Adjacent, okay, we find what is the distance. Yes, we want the adjacent side, which is x by 10 root 3. So cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Root 3 by 2 is equal to x by 10 root 3. You can cancel 2 1s, 2 5s. So here I will writing if x will become root 3 into 5 root 3. Root 3 into root 3 is 3. 3 5 is 15. So x is 15. The same question, can anyone solve the height of it and tell me in the comment section? I'll just check if any comments are mentioned so that I can solve them. Okay, no one commented. It's okay. You can check this video later, and if any have any doubts, you can also mention so that I can review it and answer it respectively. Okay, let's see the next question. 206. How is the diameter and radius of circle related? How is the diameter and radius of circle related? So this is the direct answer. Let's write the options. D is r by 2, D is 2r, D is r, R is 4D. So R is the radius, D is the diameter. So the relation between diameter and radius is diameter D is equal to 2 times of radius. Let's suppose this is a circle, then this is the diameter will be twice of the radius. Okay, let's go to the next one. 207th question. What is the angle between tangent and radius? Angle between tangent and radius is angle between tangent and radius. So this is radius and this is the tangent. So angle between them is 90 degrees. because a tangent, if I say this as a tangent, then this angle is all again 90 degrees. If I mark another tangent, suppose here, that angle if I draw from the radius, then this is also 90 degrees. So always remember, the tangent and radius are always perpendicular to each other. Let's see the next question, 208. The length of tangents from an external point to a circle. The length of tangents from external point to circle. The answer is circle R, sorry, number of tangents. The answer is equal. So I'll just give an example. If I say this is a circle and this is the external point of the circle, and if from external point we know we can draw two tangents. Mark this as point, then this is first tangent and this is second tangent. Then this distance, suppose this is A, then this will also be A. Okay, length of tangents from external point to the circle are always equal. Let's go to the last question for today. How many tangents are possible to a circle from a point inside the circle? How many tangents are possible to a circle from a point inside it? If a point is inside the circle, we cannot draw any tangent, because tangent should always be touching this circle. So from here we cannot draw it because it cannot intersect it. Okay, the answer is 0. If a point is on the circle, then we have 1 point. If a point is outside the circle, then we have 2 tangents. But if a point is inside, we cannot have any tangent. It should be 0. The options I just mentioned as 0, 1, 2, 3. The answer is 0. From if a point is inside the circle, we cannot draw any tangent to the circle. Okay. So in this way, I concluded all the questions, that is from 183 to 209 questions, question community. So whoever interested, you can also check my community where I have mentioned various types of questions related to NCERT class 10 maths. So in the next live session, I will try to cover the science MCQ questions, that is from 158 to 186 questions. We'll try to cover at least 15 in one session and 15 in another session. Okay. Thank you.